talking Karmelo Anthony. Karmelo Anthony has officially been indicted in first-degree murder. Now, let's talk about what that means before everyone jumps the gun. He's been indicted. He has not been found guilty. He's not going to jail. There's only been an indictment, meaning that they've decided, they presented evidence. The prosecution team has already presented their evidence to a grand jury. The grand jury then decided that there's enough evidence for it to go to trial. So now it's actually going to trial. What we were waiting to hear about is whether or not it was going to go to trial. So I'm going to play what the prosecution team said first, because I want to make sure we're talking facts. So here's the latest from the prosecution team.
Good afternoon. Earlier this spring, our community was shaken by what happened at a school track meet in Frisco. The violent loss of 17-year-old Austin Metcalf. For weeks now, my team has been presenting evidence to the grand jury, and today I summarized that evidence, and I asked the grand jury to return a first-degree murder indictment against Karmelo Anthony, which they did. With this indictment, the case now moves formally into the court system. From this point forward, we'll continue doing our job both fully and fairly to pursue justice under the law. As for the scheduling of the trial, that will be up to the court. But when the time comes, we will be ready. Now, we know that this case has struck a deep nerve here in Collin County and beyond. And that's understandable. When something like this happens at a school event, it shakes people to the core. But let's remember that the justice system works best when it moves with steadiness and principle. That's what we're committed to, and that's what this case deserves. We're also mindful of Austin's family and everyone who loved him. Please keep them in your thoughts, and if you're willing, your prayers as well. Finally, let's remember that a defendant is presumed innocent unless and until proven guilty in a court of law.
So that's from the prosecution team. Now here's what Austin Metcalf's legal team had to say following the indictment. Hold on, sorry.
And process. An indictment is a procedural step that happens in virtually every felony criminal case. It's a document that lays out for both the prosecution and the defense what the prosecution must prove beyond a reasonable doubt in court. An indictment simply means that a grand jury, after hearing only the prosecution's side of the story, determined that there was enough evidence to allow the case to move forward to court. That's all an indictment means. Karmelo and his family are confident in the justice system and the people of Collin County to be fair and impartial. Of course, Karmelo looks forward to his day in court. It's only in a trial that a jury will hear the full story, one that includes critical facts and context that the grand jury simply didn't get to hear. It's only in a trial that both sides get to present evidence and cross-examine each other's witnesses. This is why our justice system is based on the principle of a full and fair trial. That's because it's only in a trial that the full story can be heard and that impartial justice can be done. We expect that when the full story is heard, the prosecution will not be able to rule out the reasonable doubt that Karmelo Anthony may have acted in self-defense. Self-defense is a fundamental right guaranteed every American. The law is clear. When self-defense is raised by the facts, the law puts the burden squarely on the prosecution to prove beyond a reasonable doubt that the citizen accused did not act in self-defense. The law does not expect or require the citizen accused to prove that they acted in self-defense. It's actually the opposite. The law requires the prosecution to rule out the reasonable doubt that the citizen accused may have acted in self-defense. We understand that this case has sparked strong reactions. Please remember that there are real human beings, kids, on both sides of this case. We ask that everyone do as the law requires and withhold judgment until all the evidence can be heard in court. We are confident that when all the facts are presented and the full story is heard, the jury will reach the right conclusion and justice will be done.
So for those of you who are just tuning in, one is make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel because I'm going to post the entire video on there. But that was just a quick update on the Karmelo Anthony and Austin Metcalf incident where a grand jury decided to indict Karmelo Anthony on first-degree murder. Now, what we just heard from both the prosecution team and Karmelo Anthony's legal team is that simply means that now they move forward with the trial. There will be a trial for them to determine if Karmelo Anthony is in fact guilty or innocent of first-degree murder. We have to wait for the trial to happen in order to hear more about what's going to happen. Now, I just want to say, I'm putting this out there, that I'm still on the side of the fact that it was self-defense. So before there's a rush of folks who decided that they already feel how they feel about Karmelo Anthony, I want to make it clear that my stance is still that it is self-defense. Plain and simple. So